We're friggin' 3 days away from the 2024 NFL Draft getting underway on Thursday night, April 25th. And before we get there, we've got our main squeeze, our draft analyst, giving his final 7-round mock draft on the show here on Boy Green Daily. Been joining us for weeks and months, and now he puts an exclamation point on the mock draft. Let's see what the hell happens here on Boy Green Daily.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field Gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor Gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Folks, we're freaking 3 days away from this. Those sweet love-making chimes, baby. Welcome to Boy Green Daily. I'm Paul Weston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast in the audio-only version. Every Monday for a bunch of months has been one guy dedicating his time, love, blood, sweat, and tears, and all in between here on the program. That is Dom C, Project Prospect. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel, which is a separate entity where he's talking all things draft, and a lot of that's going to be happening this week, so let's bring him in. Dom C, once again, graces us with his presence. Good morning, sir.
Boy Green, pleasure, man. Kind of bittersweet for a multitude of reasons. I've thoroughly enjoyed my Monday morning coffee with Boy Green in the chat. And listen, it's the end of draft season for me. Like this stuff started literally August, September. So I don't know what to do with myself. I'm gonna have a weird couple months, cueing that one meme where it's the guy just sitting in the park bench just looking around. That's kind of gonna be me.
That sounds accurate, but it's okay because you're immediately going to get to work, I'm sure, on the 2025 mocks and get all that.
Well, listen, the first couple of weeks is going to be a lot of fun and making sure that, crossing my T's and dot my I's with all the guys that the Jets end up drafting.
Yeah, which is true. Yeah, there will be some reactions to that. So here's how this is going to work, everybody. We're going to use the PFF mock draft machine as normal, but I'm just pressing the buttons. This is, and I want to establish this as well. This will not be a predictive mock. We will be getting a couple of those out this week. Stay tuned for that, where me or a draft analyst of choosing will try to predict exactly what will happen on draft day. In this particular case, Dom C is the GM. He decides what the hell's going on. And like I said, I'm just the not-so-handsome guy with a beard pressing the button. So that's my role. And as Bill Belichick would say, shut up and know your role and do your job. So that's exactly what I plan on doing here. Yeah.
WWDD. What would Dom do, right? That's what we're talking about. So listen, I'm ready for it. Okay. Guys, I'm gonna, you can get at me in the comments. I'm a big boy. This is my feelings. This will be my beliefs. This is, kind of sort of how I would navigate what the mock simulator gives me. So let's rock, baby.
Okay, here we go. Let's start up here on the big screen. And for just the audio listeners, again, we're using the PFF mock draft machine. 7 rounds, speed maximum. We'll see what trade scenarios are available once he's on the clock, and he will determine those in 50-50 and all the other major important categories. Without further ado, let's enter the draft, and let's start the draft, baby. So booyah, hit the big blue button, and bang. Jets get sniped on the Roma Dunze fans out there. Roma Dunze goes number 9 to the Bears, and the rest of it's pretty chalky. Caleb, Bears. Drake May, Commanders. James Daniel, Patriots. Marvin Harrison Jr., Cardinals. Malik Neighbors, Chargers. J.J. McCarthy, Giants. Joe Alt, Titans. Dallas Turner, Falcons. Roma Dunze, Bears, which leads us to where we are now. All right, Dom, what's the plan?
So my plan, and this is kind of how I'm looking at things, guys. You don't have to agree with it. I'm saying that specifically. You don't have to agree with it. And it's not due to a lack, but my tier is kind of wide receiver, And then if that doesn't fall, and as this board it didn't, I'm going to look, towards moving back a little bit and seeing if I can recoup a little capital. So I would love to hit you. I would love for you to hit that trade thing.
Yep. Okay. And where do you want to go?
Well, no, if you hit that trade where the numbers are, where it says trade, it tells you the teams that are interested. I want to see that. Yes. Click on that.
Okay. Oh, yes. Oh, just so you could see them all, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. I believe, I'm assuming
on the
this
word
is,
trades.
Yeah. Oh, here we are. Teams interested in pick 10. Yes. So we have this long list from Denver all the way to the Falcons in the second round.
So is Indianapolis there?
They are not.
Oh,
no.
Of course. Denver to who? Can you just? I can't see it on my screen.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So here are the picks. We have
Yeah.
Denver at pick 12, Raiders at pick 13, Saints at pick 14, Seahawks pick 16, Jaguars 17, Bengals 18, Rams 19, Steelers 20.
Okay, let's go with. I don't want to go too far. So really, that Oakland Saints, Seattle area. So we'll just split the middle. And let's go. New Orleans.
Okay, we got New Orleans at pick 14. What's the offer?
The offer is what I think is a fair offer is if we can get. They have a third rounder, correct?
It does not look like it. No.
Ooh.
No.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to go down to Seattle then.
Okay. All right. We will
Sorry
switch.
about that.
You got to be willing to pivot. I can appreciate.
Willing to pivot. Yeah. Listen, I think I think a second is probably a little too rich to come up from 14 to 10, which is why I'm not going for it. So, let's go down to Seattle, man. Let's see if we can get a third and a fifth.
Okay, excellent. So we will try that very package out. Okay, so let's get that. Get bang, and then let me just do my math real quick to make sure because they don't have. It doesn't look like Seattle has a second.
179.
Okay, that's their fifth. All right, great. It said the trade is likely to be accepted, so go ahead and send that through.
Yeah, just bang it through.
Okay, beautiful. And it is accepted. So, for audio-only listeners, Dom C has decided to do a trade back from 10 to 16 in return. They got a third-round pick, 81st overall, and a fifth-round pick, 179 overall. So,
which might be a little bit light in terms of trade package value, but for the argument of this thing, we just want to speed it up here, right?
Okay, beautiful. I will read quickly the picks that happened in between. Seattle ended up moving up for Brock Bowers. Very nice. Quinyon Mitchell went to the Minnesota Vikings. Olu Fashanu went to the Broncos. Talise Fuaga went to the Raiders. J.C. Latham, Saints. Terrion Arnold, Colts. Okay, what's the plan now?
So I think that there's probably one more tier of a couple guys in the offensive line that I would consider.
Okay.
I think this is also prime real estate that you can start talking about that next level of weapon. Knowing that we got back a third rounder, so we're picking at 72 and 81.
Correct.
Makes me a little bit more comfortable in terms of those both weapons or offensive line being there. So I know the chat's not going to like this, but for me, I think I'm going to take the offensive lineman here.
Okay.
All
right, great.
I'm not going to take Troy Fautanu.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take one of the guys that I think, I definitely have ranked higher than Troy Fautanu.
Okay.
I think that he is maybe a little bit of a reach here at 16. I don't think so. I think the consensus will. Give me the big unicorn tackle out of Georgia, Armarius Mims.
Okay. There we go.
6'7", 340 pounds. The guy moves ridiculously good. Paul, when I tell you that he's my tackle 5 in the class, borderline tackle 4. I think I have literally the same grade as him and Talise Fuaga. The guy is, has the ability to literally 5 years from now be the best tackle that comes out of this class. So that being said, there is a little bit of an injury history. He hasn't been able to stay on the field. He only has 9 starts, so on and so forth. So the risk is high, but the reward can pay off greatly. At this point, you get a guy that, can come in and suffice at left tackle or right tackle, step into a starter's role once, or if one of those those guys go down, and can also, step in and be your starter from year 2 on. So give me like that. He is not, Phil, I see your chat, far from Becton. I urge you guys to watch up on Armarius Mims. The guy moves. The guy's long. He is he is as talented as it comes. Give me Armarius Mims. And I just want to trade it up from Troy Fautanu. I have Mims graded higher than Fautanu. Give me Armarius Mims and let's move on.
Yeah, I love it. By the way, you and Dane Brugler have the same take. He said that on the Can't Wait podcast for Jet fans. He said, if you tell me in a couple of years that Armarius Mims is the best offensive lineman in this class, I wouldn't be surprised. So, wow. Big praise. So, again, with the 16th overall pick in the first round. Booyah, baby. The New York Jets select Armarius Mims, the offensive tackle out of Georgia. All right, and beautiful. Okay, we're going to jump right on down. Now we're at pick 72 for the New York Jets. Remember, we got a couple of thirds thanks to Seattle. So this is our own third-round pick. Where are we looking?
So if you can look at the wide receiver class real quick, Paul, I just want to peruse down and see who's in there.
Okay, we got Jermaine Burton.
Scroll down a little bit. Scroll down. Keep going. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can move up. I'm good.
Okay. Ooh, okay. You have your target set?
Perhaps. I got my target set. The guy I was really looking for, and this is I'm fine with these guys here. Don't get me wrong. The guy I was really looking for, and one of these guys that interests me, and tidbit. There seems to be a little buzz around One Jets Drive about this guy I'm going to talk about. They've obviously brought him in. From what I understand, there's a lot of people in Florham Park that are real big fans of Malachi Corley. He hasn't fallen here, or at least I don't see him unless you want to scroll down.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let me see. Yeah.
So he's probably a guy I would target here, but I'm ready to pivot if not, which is fine.
Yeah, it does not look like he made it. No.
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So we can pivot. And we're going to stick in the wide receiver room, and we're going to take out of UCF the 6'2", 208-pound Javon Baker. I know a lot of people haven't, or it's not a name that many people are familiar with. He kind of stood at the Senior Bowl. The first thing that pops on tape is how strong he is. He has got long, big, wide catch radius, super strong hands. I love how he goes up and gets the ball. All right. Think of those old school. Think of Mike Evans. I'm not comparing him to Mike Evans, guys. So think of Mike Evans, Paul, when he's in the end zone and you throw him those back corner fades and he just goes up the ball and plucks them. Like Javon Baker does a lot of that. He can do it from the slot. He's a perfect slot fade guy. He can play inside, outside. He's got that flexibility. Does a great job sinking his hips. Phenomenal feet. Good short area quickness. There's a lot to like. He can get yards after the catch. Very polished route runner. All these attributes that I think I like, and why I like Javon Baker, more so than the other guy for the Jets and the fit. Like I said, not only is the inside-outside versatility, but I think there's certain specifics and certain packages where you're going to want Garrett on the outside, still, one-on-one on that pressed up corner. When you bring in a guy like, say, Roma Dunze, or you bring in a guy like, or a bigger body, you're probably going to force Garrett into the slot more often. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I don't want him to live there. You know what I mean? I want him. I want him to be able to take advantage of favorable matchups. So give me a guy like Javon Baker. I'm going to run to the podium all day long for this one. And guess what? Sneak peek. I might be doubling up on the wide receiver room. So,
ooh, what a tease. Okay.
Yeah, let's rock, baby. Let's rock. Javon Baker, welcome to New York Jets.
Booyah, you heard it here. UCF wide receiver Javon Baker is the New York Jets pick with a 72nd overall selection in the third round. Beautiful. Now, again, we skip right on down because the Jets don't have to go very far. They have pick 81. Thanks to the Seattle Seahawks on that trade down around one. What position are we looking at?
Oh, man, there's a bunch of different ways I think you can go here. I think you can double up on the offensive line. I think you can I really think you could double up on the offensive line. I don't think you have to. At some point I want to bring in a guard to either challenge John Simpson for a starting job or to be the primary backup, because Mims, I think, covers you on the outside. You still don't know what you have. You still don't exactly know what you have for AVT. I think John Simpson, again, I'm happy for a guy like him to be on the team. I like his nastiness. to me, there's still something that I don't want to say it sounds negative, but say is off, because why is Baltimore, a storied franchise, willing to get rid of him pretty much for a 6th-round trade or 4th-round, swap?
Pick swap. Yeah.
Pick swap. To me, that doesn't smell right. So,
Mhm.
let's look at the interior of the offensive line first, and then I'm going to
Okay.
look somewhere on the defense, because you guys know that. You know where I'm going to go with this one.
I do.
It's hard if Cooper Beebe's here on the board round 3. I'm going to soak him up all day long. Listen, not the most athletic guy, but a big nasty MFer, if you will. And I think that listen, he's the perfect situation where he can back up both right and left guard. I think he can push John Simpson for a role. I think I like, even though he's not a perfect prospect, and he's not, guys. I know people love the name Cooper Beebe probably more so than the film on Cooper Beebe. At least that's me. But when you talk about power gap scheme that looks like we're transitioning to, I think Cooper Beebe fits the bill. Gives you legitimate 5-spot flexibility if need be. If there was one of those god awful years where everybody gets hurt and you need to pop him outside to tackle for a couple, he can do it. I love the way he plays. Cooper Beebe is my perfect fit. And listen, I've rebuilt this line right here. Cooper Beebe, understand in round 3, he comes in and he challenges John Simpson for that, for that left guard starting role in camp. So Cooper Beebe, welcome to New York Jets.
Again, this is the 81st overall pick because of that Jets trade down. This was originally Seattle's, and we ended up taking Cooper Beebe, the guard out of Kansas State. Welcome to the New York Jets. Here we go.
Yeah, and very unlike me, I got to be honest with you, is going offense.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just how the board falls. So don't get it twisted. Now,
yeah, we're in the 4th round now. Pick 111. This is the Jets. We're back to our normal picks here for right now. Yes.
Yeah, I'm flipping to the opposite side of the room here, and I would love for you to check the cornerbacks. Please.
Yes.
I've been saying it all past cycle, Paul, that they're going to draft a cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, keep going down, and don't go farther. Right there, right there. Listen, I can't hide my love for not only the player but for the fit of Cam Hart. Guys, forget about where his PFF rank is. He's going to go a lot higher. Like in this area, in this 4th round would be a phenomenal get. I don't think he makes it there, if I'm being completely honest. But you got a guy who's 6'2", who's 208 pounds, who's probably the single best run supporter from a boundary cornerback in this entire draft class. I love his eyes. I love the way he plays with anticipation. I love the way he crashes downhill. I think he's not scheme specific, although if I had my druthers, I love him playing off man, or off coverage, quarters coverage, what the stuff that the Jets do a lot. Cam Hart, one of my favorites in this entire draft class, my cornerback 5 in the class. Welcome to the New York Jets.
Phenomenal. Dom C just has a plan, and I love him attacking. Again, this is a 111th overall pick in the 4th round. It is Cam Hart, the cornerback, corner with a C out of Notre Dame, coming up here. And now we're going to jump on over to our other 4th round pick that is 134 overall. That's the bonus swap we got from the Baltimore Ravens. All right, Dom C, where we go next, brother?
Oh, man. You know what? It's funny. I had a plan or a vision of an area I wanted to go, but I'm looking at the top of this board right here.
Yeah, the BPA. Mm-hmm.
And listen, Cole Bishop is my 2nd-ranked safety. Theo Johnson's my 2nd-ranked tight end.
Wow.
I love Dwayne Carter. I love his ability to play both 1 and 3 tech in here. This is a really, really tough spot for me. Okay. But here's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Is I think I'm gonna. Can you just do one thing for me? I'm probably not gonna pivot this hard, but can you just check the quarterback room?
Quarterback with a Q,
like with an Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Okay. See, and here's the thing. I know that the room is going to want me to take Jordan Travis.
Of course,
there's a possibility that the Jets take Jordan Travis in a situation like this. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you my thoughts on the quarterback room.
Okay.
As a whole, or the quarterback class. Okay. Obviously, we all know about the first 3 guys. I happen to be a big J.J. McCarthy fan. I think he's going to be a really, really good pro. Maybe not right away, but I think he transitions and turns into, talked about as one of the better ones in this class. All right.
Yeah.
I'm also a big fan. We know we've talked about this. I'm a big fan with the arrow pointing way up on Spencer Rattler. All right.
Yes.
I think Spencer Rattler is an NFL arm. I think he's going to be a much better pro than he was in college. Baker Mayfield clone to me. After that, I'm not really sold on this quarterback class. So a guy like Jordan Travis, still a lot of question marks. Coming back from the injury, only did it for 1 year. Don't know if he has the true makeup to get through progressions and keep that completion percentage up above in the range where it was last year, because he's historically a 50-55% guy. Last year was ridiculous, around 75. So there's some questions in that. I know it's not a big liking or fan. The Jets fans aren't going to be a fan, but I'm going to pass on the quarterback here.
Okay, before you do, I just want to ask you a quick follow-up here, because Jordan Reed, our good buddy, ESPN NFL Draft Analyst, just dropped a 7-round mock draft like right before the show started. And I just kind of scanned through it real quick before, tweeting out about it and putting it out on Instagram. He had Jordan Travis as Mr. Irrelevant, dropping all the way down to the final pick of the class. I ask you, again, I love Jordan like anybody. I take his word and things he says very seriously. Yeah. And that fact that he had him dropping all the way to the 7th, could you see that for Jordan Travis?
Yeah, listen, all the way to the 7th, maybe. I don't think that. So here's the thing. I think a lot of NFL rooms are going to be split on him. Just like I think people, especially fans, know the name Jordan Travis. They like the name Jordan Travis. Listen, he was probably arguably the best player in the ACC last year. All right. So when you go into when you really break down his film, I think he's a little bit more athlete than quarterback, and I'm not disrespecting the player.
No, of course.
He just wasn't my cup of tea. And if he's not my cup of tea, I know there's going to be NFL teams that don't have him high. Plus the fact is that, him using his legs as such a weapon, being a plus athlete, coming off of a really bad break of that fibia and tibia, who knows, man? So could he drop to the 7th round? I'm sure anything is possible, but I'm going to pass on him right here. Okay,
great.
Yeah. For me, it's really hard to get off of. I am so torn right here. This is an odd way that this board broke. Yeah, for real, it is. It's an odd way that this board broke. It's hard for me to get off Cole Bishop. But I think Theo Johnson might be the way that I lean.
I will tell you this, because of the great service you've done for Jet fans of your list that's out there. It's a Google Doc that all Jet fans can look at. You have that out on your Twitter. We broke down a lot of the names on your list. It's basically tracking who the Jets have met with, top 30 visits, pro days, Senior Bowl, everything, all together. And one name that jumped out to me was Theo Johnson. I was asking Ryan Roberts, Rise and Draft, about it. And he was singing a lot of things about Theo Johnson, which was fascinating because they met with him, if I remember correctly.
They have. They actually, Ron Middleton actually worked him out at his private workout prior to the pro day while they were there. The only guy I'd like to see, can you just flip to the tight end room?
The tight end room, you said? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure.
I want to see if Ben Sinnott is still there.
Yeah, let's see.
He's not. That's fine. I'm going to take Theo Johnson. Listen, elite athlete at 6'6.5", 256 pounds, good frame, understands football, high IQ player, a versatile chess piece, can play fullback, can play inline, can play that big slot. Not nearly as polished of a route runner or acumen with the ball in his hand, yards after the catch wise, as Brock Bowers, but very versatile nonetheless in the sim. He's a mismatch nightmare. He's a mismatch nightmare for linebackers and safeties. Listen, we don't know what's going to happen. I love Conklin. One of my favorite Jets. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I hope that he comes back for another year, but there's still no contract given to him. Right. Jeremy Ruckert, in what, going into year 3?
Correct.
Has he earned a second contract after these next 2 years? Who knows? It's not a bad idea to bring in somebody in the pipeline. Listen, I talked to this guy in depth at the Senior Bowl. One of the nicest guys, one of the most thorough interviews that I've done in all these prospects in the 3 years that I've been doing it, talking to these guys. Listen, could he add some bulk, and can he get a little bit more like heavier in the ass that it will help him kind of block people a little bit better in line to displace him? Yes. But I think overall the means justify the ends here, because you're putting another weapon on the field for Aaron Rodgers. Isn't that what we're talking about all day, every day? So welcome to the team, Theo Johnson.
Sorry, Bowers boys out there. We're going with a different tight end in this draft. Theo Johnson, tight end out of Penn State. You are the Jets pick with 134th overall selection in the 4th round. But again, we don't have to go far here, because let's go to, where did we get this? Or beginning of the 6th round, I guess, is ultimately what we got here with Seattle. So we got a double dip in the 6th round. More on that coming up later. Again, this was from the trade back in round 1. Where are we going here, Dom?
You know what? I'm completely comfortable going best player available from this point out. So I'd like to look at the safeties. I'd like to look at the defensive linemen.
Sure. Let's go to safeties. Okay.
Yeah, and see what happens. You can scroll down for me a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Yep, we're good right here.
Okay.
Don't worry about the PFF grades, guys.
Okay.
Because they're gonna differ from where they stand for me. I'm going to take a guy, again, we're talking 6th round here. We're talking developmental guy, but a guy that I think can come in and offer something into our safety room, right this second. Definitely a rotational piece. Definitely a little bit different than what we have. I'm going to go ahead and take out of Auburn, Jalen Simpson. A little bit light, only 180 pounds. Definitely needs to put some a little bit bulk on, but he's a true ball hawking center fielder. He's he could even play some off coverage, nickel cornerback, so on and so forth. Very similar to what we have in Tony Adams. Again, both of them young, both of them will be cheap. Jalen Simpson can offer you something on special teams, and we don't really have a true rotational or backup free safety in here. Listen, I'm fine with giving Jalen Simpson the chance to go out there and battle with Tony Adams for that starting role. Do I think he'll get it year 1? Probably not, because this staff really is high on Tony Adams. But again, you only have a couple more years of Tony Adams, right? Why not just refill that pipeline? You have 4 safeties in the room right now. You have your backup strong safety or box guy in Ashton Davis. Now you have your backup, single high overhang in Jalen Simpson. Again, definitely a guy that needs to put on a little bit of weight. But I love, what I mean? I love guys that can play man coverage, that converted cornerbacks. I love the range that he plays with. I love the ball skills. So give me Jalen Simpson.
Okay, there you go. That is the 6th round pick again we got from Seattle. That's pick 179. Ends up being Jalen Simpson, the safety out of Auburn. This is an early 6th round draft selection. We'll get another 6th rounder here at 185 overall for the New York Jets.
Can you give me first the defensive interior and or edge, and then the wide receivers? I want to see if there's anybody still on the board there.
Okay. Here's the interior defense.
Stop right there. Stop right there.
Wow.
Stop right there. One of my favorite interior guys in this class. A guy that, I want to give a little bit a shout out to Jets Nation, Glenn Naughton. A guy that Glenn Naughton turned me on 2 years ago to, said, hey, you need to start watching this guy's film. And this is probably the area where he's going to fall, just because he's a little bit one note. But give me McKinley Jackson all day, every day. Nasty, strong hands, physical at the point of attack. He is your quintessential one tech, no run stuffing defensive lineman. Listen, he can get, he's strong as an ox. He can get pressure. He can push the pocket vertical. He's not going to have a savvy bag of pass rush moves and counters, so on and so forth. But he's a mean, nasty guy who can stack and shed blockers and penetrate and make plays in the backfield and stop the run. Again, a perfect segue to what happens with, a perfect piece to come in here and really help solidify a run defense that looked a little bit leaky at times last year, So now you have a guy like him. Now you have a guy like Leaky Fotu, who I think is a little bit of an underrated signing. He's only here for 1 year. You got, oh my God, who do we get from San Francisco? Why can't I think of his name? His name is skipping.
Javon Kinlaw.
Javon Kinlaw, again, only a 1-year deal. I think he's going to play more of a Quentin Jefferson role, probably be on the field a little bit more and attack as a pass rusher. McKinley Jackson is the quintessential guy that I want in early downs next to Quinnen Williams, next to JFM, next to JJ. He really finishes off this defensive line for me. So McKinley Jackson's my pick.
Beautiful. Again, that is pick 185 here in the 6th round. McKinley Jackson, defensive lineman, Texas A&M. You are the selection. All right, now we're going to skip down to the final 2 picks of this draft. The Jets do have those final 2 selections. That's 256 and 257, respectively. So let's start out with the penultimate pick.
I am not taking Sam Hartman. I'm telling you, I know everyone's going to get in the comments. So
yes.
You're going to have to just scroll down for me a little bit because I can't see very well.
Okay.
Yeah, you can keep going, I'll tell you.
All right.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Yep. Wow, the board looks a little bit weak here, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I appreciate the honesty. Yeah.
Not gonna lie here. I'm gonna stop you there. Can you go to the linebacker room? This might be easy.
Oh, sure. Okay, sure, absolutely. Let's jump right on over to that level of the defense. Excellent. Okay.
Okay, now you can scroll down from there. I just want to see if there's any guys.
And that is it. Yeah.
They must have adjusted here. Scroll back up for me.
Okay.
Now, an interesting guy, Jontre Hunter, and he's gonna end up being my pick here. For a couple reasons. One, I know the Jets talked to him at depth. He was one of those, meetings at the opposite bowl at another game, virtual meeting, so on and so forth. Interesting guy, kind of a tweener, probably more of a rush linebacker, more of a kind of like an outside linebacker in a 3-4 scheme. So the fit would be interesting, but to me, he's a guy that I think can come on, he can come on the field similar to a path like Quincy Williams, where he's not going to be a defensive player right from the get-go. This is a guy that's going to really give you a lot on special teams with the ability to transform into somebody similar to a Quincy Williams, with a couple years of development. But you're going to have to start putting some depth pieces in the linebacker room as well. So Jontre Hunter, a guy who can come in and help on special teams right away, probably be your glue, 2 years from now when you have a room that looks like, maybe Zaire Barnes and Jontre Hunter and Quincy Sherwood, so on and so forth, or Quincy. So give me the athletic prowess. This is kind of tying in the fact that the Jets have peaked and poked and prodded a little bit. So give me Jontre Hunter out of Georgia State.
Again, this is pick 256. Ends up going at Jontre Hunter, the linebacker out of Georgia State, with the penultimate pick. And we have to wait no time because the Jets have the next pick, which is Mr. Irrelevant. Who earns that crown? Don?
Can you go to the interior?
Interior defensive line?
Offensive line. Yeah.
Offensive line. Great. Okay. Great.
Keep going. I'm looking for one guy in particular. There he is. Boom. Stop.
Okay.
This is a guy, again, when you talk about power football, and you talk about the interior depth that we have, we really don't have a backup behind Tippmann. Listen, could this be somebody that is taken by free agency after the draft, so on and so forth? Is this a Connor McGovern? Bring him back on a cheap deal? Maybe it is, but for this area, I'm gonna assume that I'm still gonna build a little bit depth. Listen, I love the fact that I took Cooper Beebe, backs up my guards. I love the fact that I got Armarius Mims. He's your tackle of the future. Why not get another center in here that can also counteract and give you a little bit on both? I love the movement skills. I really love the movement skills. I love the play strength of Matt Lee from Florida.
Ooh, okay. Or
Yeah.
Miami, you're talking about,
Or
right?
Miami. Miami, Florida. That's what I meant.
Yeah, well, that is in the state.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I listen. I think he's an underrated player. I know a lot of, a lot of attention went to both the guard and the tackle over there, but I think Matt Lee was the guy who kind of held the glue together.
Interesting.
I think he's a backup. Yeah, obviously he's a backup to Joe Tittman, but again, a guy that can offer valid depth. At this point, you're throwing darts and you're hoping that one of them sticks.
Of
Here
course.
with Mr. Irrelevant, Matt Lee's going to be my choice.
Okay, I love it. Mr. Irrelevant, the final pick of the Jets draft, the final pick of the draft, which is number 257, 7th round. Matt Lee, center, out of Miami. And they're analyzing and grading your draft. You apparently earned 2 awards for this draft. Hopefully many more beyond that would have been very nice. How do you feel about your haul? We'll let the great people on social media know.
Well, here's what I think of my haul.
Yeah, please do.
First off, again, I gotta say it with a grain of salt. Those grades on the right hand side, are completely irrelevant. But,
of course, it's just whether or not you listen to PFF or not, and what they believe, right?
If you come out of this draft class with a tackle, like 2 offensive linemen like Armarius Mims and Cooper Beebe, and 2 weapons like Javon Baker and Theo Johnson, your offense is kind of reshaped. Then you throw in a guy like Cam Hart, who I love so much. I got McKinley Jackson to fill inside, and you get Jalen Simpson. You finish off that safety room with positional flexibility that I think makes sense. Are some of these guys starting right away? Is Jalen Simpson the 6th rounder coming in to start? Listen, I think he could challenge for it, but I think he's got to do some. He's got to get a little bit, NFL strong before he really plays. And then the 7th round guys, you're hoping you find a needle in a haystack here. But I like both of their athletic prowess. Those are RAS guys. So I'm happy with this selection, man. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. It didn't go the exact way that I expected, but if this was the result, sign me up, man.
All right, beautiful. Well, Dom, I think we'll have you on at least one more time for next Monday.
Monday will be an interesting one, boy.
And that it will, which I'm very much looking forward to, because then we could do the grading on the New York Jets after all of this. Dom, I know you have a busy day today. Appreciate it, and I want to reiterate again. I've told you this privately, but I'll say it publicly as well. Us Jet fans have gotten a lot smarter getting to hear you over the last bunch of months and weeks, and every Monday spreading the good gospel of all the tape study and all the hard work that you've put in. This is your Christmas holiday over these a bunch of Mondays for all the work you've put in. Get some TV time and get on and kiss some babies, sign some autographs. I just want to say thanks, man, because it's so cool. It's so cool that we got to do this with each other. I've been a fan from afar. It's been awesome to now work together this closely. Very fun, man.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity, man. And it's always fun to chop it up with you, Paul. And that's fine, guys. Have at it in the chat. You can roast me. It's okay. This is just this is the beautiful thing about the draft, guys. It's just an opinion, man.
That's right.
It's just you don't know what the mock simulator is going to throw at you. If you come into a draft class expecting to get 7 starters, I don't know what to tell you. So love you guys. Love you, Paul. Love you guys.
Yeah.
You guys have a great night. Great day.
All right, thanks everybody. Again, make sure, great show as always. Appreciate it, Brandon. To the 500 people in the room, make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe down below. We appreciate it. We'll be putting this out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere else, so you guys can let Dom C know all your wonderful thoughts, because I'm sure he's looking forward to hearing those. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow for Boy Green Daily right here on the channel. Take care.